Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the studio. You are tuning in to episode 2 of Module 2 of the Blueprint for Effortless English. I am your co-host, Ben.
And I am Anna. Welcome back, everyone. We are so thrilled to have you here today. The energy from the start of Module 2 has been absolutely incredible, and we are ready to keep that momentum going.
We really are. In our last episode, we kicked off the rhythm of fluency by talking about sentence stress. We learned that English is not a flat, robotic language where every word gets the same amount of time. We learned about the peaks and the valleys.
We talked about how you have to hit the content words hard, make them longer, louder, and higher in pitch. Those are your peaks. And we talked about squeezing the function words down so they become the valleys.
But we left you with a bit of a mystery at the end of that episode. We told you to squeeze those function words down, but we didn't exactly tell you how to pronounce them when they are squeezed.
That is exactly what we are going to uncover today. Today, we are talking about the absolute most important sound in the entire English language. It is a sound that accounts for about 1/3 of all vowel sounds spoken by native speakers, yet most traditional textbooks barely even mention it.
Today, we are unlocking the Schwa secret.
Before we dive into the deep end of the schwa, we want to ask our listeners for a quick favor. If you are enjoying this 50-episode journey and you are ready to master the music of English, please hit that like button and subscribe to the English Chatcast channel.
Liking and subscribing is the absolute best way to support us. It helps the algorithm share this course with other English learners who are stuck on the intermediate plateau and need a way out. We want to bring this blueprint to as many people as possible.
Thank you all so much for your support. Now, Ben, let us get right into it. What in the world is a schwa? It sounds like a strange word.
It does sound strange. The word schwa actually comes from Hebrew, but in English linguistics, it refers to a very specific, very lazy vowel sound. If you want to know what the schwa sounds like, I want you to imagine that you are sitting on your couch after a long, exhausting day. You are completely relaxed, your jaw is loose, and someone asks you a question that you do not know the answer to. What sound do you make?
You just sort of drop your jaw and say,
Exactly. That is the schwa. It is the sound of total physical relaxation.
Let us break down the physical mechanics of that sound because it is crucial for our listeners to feel it in their bodies. Remember, Module 2 is the physical shift. We are moving out of the brain and into the mouth.
To make a perfect schwa, your mouth needs to be doing almost nothing. Your jaw should be slightly open, just relaxed and dropped a tiny bit. Your lips should not be rounded like an O, and they should not be pulled back in a smile like an E. They are just neutral.
And what about the tongue?
The tongue is entirely relaxed right in the middle of your mouth. It is not touching the roof of your mouth. It is not pushed forward against your teeth, and it is not pulled back toward your throat. It is just lying there completely flat and lazy. And then you just gently push a tiny bit of air out of your vocal cords.
It really is the laziest sound a human being can make. I sometimes tell my students to think of it as the zombie sound. If a zombie was walking around trying to speak, it would just make schwa sounds.
That is a brilliant visualization. Now, why is this lazy zombie sound the most important sound in the English language? It all goes back to the rhythm we discussed in episode 1. English is a stress-timed language. We have to rush through the unimportant syllables to get to the important ones on the beat.
And you cannot rush through a syllable if your mouth is doing linguistic gymnastics. If you try to pronounce a perfect clear A or a perfect round O on a syllable that is supposed to be fast and unstressed, your mouth simply cannot move quickly enough. You will ruin the rhythm.
So the English language evolved a brilliant shortcut. Instead of pronouncing the full vowel in an unstressed syllable, we just replace it with the schwa. We replace the complicated mouth movement with the laziest mouth movement possible.
This is the secret to English flow. The schwa is the valley. When we talked about stepping up on the peaks and sliding down into the valleys, the sound you are sliding into is almost always a schwa.
Let us look at how this plays out with actual words. This is where the spelling illusion comes in, which is a major trap for English learners. In your native language, if you see the letter A, you probably pronounce it as an A sound every single time. If you see an O, you pronounce an O.
But in English, you absolutely cannot trust your eyes. English spelling is notoriously terrible. Any vowel letter in the English alphabet, A, E, I, O, or U, can be pronounced as a schwa if it is in an unstressed syllable.
Let us give some examples of this, because it blows people's minds the first time they realize it. Let us look at the letter A. Think about the word about. How does a native speaker actually say that word?
We do not say about, we say about. The stress is on the second syllable, bout. Because the first syllable is unstressed, that letter A turns into a lazy schwa, about.
Exactly. Now let us look at the letter E. Think about the word problem. A traditional student might try to pronounce that second syllable clearly. They might say prob-lem, but the stress is on the first syllable, prob-lem, so that letter E becomes a schwa, prob-lem.
What about the letter I? Take the word family. We do not say fam-e-ly, we stress the first syllable, fam. The middle syllable with the letter I gets reduced to a schwa, or sometimes it disappears entirely, family.
How about the letter O? This is a huge one. Think about the word control. We do not say control with a round O sound at the beginning. The stress is on the second syllable, so the first O becomes a schwa, control.
And finally, the letter U. Think of the word support. We do not say support, we say support. The U becomes a lazy sound.
So you see, A, E, I, O, and U can all make the exact same lazy sound depending on where the stress falls in the word. This is why you must stop relying on your eyes and start relying on your ears. The spelling is lying to you. The rhythm is telling you the truth.
I have a fantastic example to illustrate this shifting stress. Let us look at a word family. Ben, say the word for a picture you take with a camera.
Photograph.
Perfect. Where is the stress?
The stress is on the first syllable, photograph. So the first O is a clear, strong O sound. The other two syllables are unstressed, so they both get reduced to a schwa. Photograph.
Right. Photographer. Now, let us change the word to the person who takes the picture. Ben, how do you say that?
Photographer.
Listen how the rhythm completely changed. The stress moved. It is no longer on the first syllable. It is on the second syllable. Photographer.
This is where the magic happens. Because the stress moved to the second syllable, that second O suddenly wakes up. It becomes a strong, clear vowel, tog. But look what happens to the first O. It lost its stress, so it goes to sleep. it turns into a schwa. Photographer.
And let us do one more in that family. What is the adjective form, like when someone has a perfect memory?
Photographic.
The stress moved again. Now it is on the third syllable. Photographic. The A in graph is now the peak.
This word family, photograph, photographer, photographic, is the ultimate proof that you cannot memorize English pronunciation by looking at the letters. You have to know where the stress is. Once you know where the peak is, every other vowel turns into a valley. Every other vowel becomes a schwa.
When I explain this to my private students, they often get a little bit angry. They feel like they have been tricked by their textbooks for years. They spent so much time trying to clearly pronounce every single vowel they read.
It is exhausting to speak like that. If you try to say photographer, your mouth has to do so much extra work. You will run out of breath, your speech will sound robotic, and you will never be able to keep up with the natural pace of a native speaker.
Embracing the schwa is embracing efficiency. You are literally saving physical energy. You are allowing your mouth to rest on the unstressed syllables so that you have enough breath to hit the stressed syllables hard.
That is such a great point. The schwa is your resting state. It is the default position of your mouth.
Now, we just talked about how the schwa works inside of individual words, but the schwa is even more powerful when we look at whole sentences, particularly when it comes to function words.
Ah, yes, the function words. We talked about these in the last episode. The prepositions, the articles, the auxiliary verbs. These are the words that do not carry the main meaning of the sentence.
In natural conversational English, these function words almost never get their full dictionary pronunciation. They're almost always reduced to a schwa.
Let us look at the word to. In a dictionary, it sounds like the number 2. But in a real sentence, it almost never sounds like that. If I say, I am going to the store, I do not say to, I say ta. I'm going to the store.
And the word the also reduces. We do not say the store, we say the. I'm going to the store. Two schwas right next to each other.
Let us look at the word for. In isolation, it rhymes with door. But in a sentence, the O disappears into a schwa. This gift is for you. This gift is for you.
Think about the word and. We rarely pronounce the A and the D. A bowl of macaroni and cheese becomes macaroni and cheese. Fish and chips becomes fish and chips.
The word can is a very important one because it causes a lot of confusion for learners. If you want to say that you have the ability to do something, traditional English classes teach you to say, I can do it, with a big, wide A sound.
But native speakers do not do that because can is an auxiliary verb. It is a function word. It is not the main verb. The main verb is do, so do gets the stress, and can gets reduced to a schwa. It sounds like can. I can do it.
I can do it. It happens so fast. This is actually how native speakers distinguish between positive and negative abilities. Because if you want to say the negative form, you have to use the word can't, and can't is always stressed.
This is a huge revelation for a lot of learners. If you try to say, I can do it, and I can't do it, the listener is going to be very confused because the vowel sounds are too similar.
Right, but if you use the rhythm of fluency, the positive form uses a short, quiet schwa. I can do it.
and the negative form uses a strong, wide vowel. I can't do it. The difference is night and day. One is a valley, the other is a peak.
So if you want people to understand you, you actually need to pronounce the word can poorly. You need to be lazy with it.
You have to be lazy to be fluent. It sounds like a joke, but it is a linguistic fact.
Let us talk a bit more about that laziness, because it really is a physical shift. For a lot of our listeners who speak languages with very crisp, clear vowels, making the schwa sound actually feels wrong. It feels sloppy.
It feels like bad manners. I have had clients tell me that they feel like they are mumbling when I make them use the schwa.
They are mumbling. That is the point. English is half clear articulation and half mumbling. The content words are articulated beautifully. The function words are mumbled.
If you refuse to mumble the function words because you think it sounds uneducated or sloppy, you will never achieve effortless fluency. You will always sound foreign. Native speakers do not view the schwa as sloppy. They view it as natural.
To train this physical laziness, you have to practice relaxing your mouth. Let us do a physical exercise right now. I want you to clench your jaw tight. Feel the tension in your face.
Now completely let it go. Let your mouth fall open slightly. Relax your tongue. Take a breath and just let a sound fall out of your mouth. Ah.
Ah. Do it again. Ah. That is your home base. Whenever you are navigating the valleys between your important words, your mouth needs to return to that home base.
A cup of tea.
Okay, the content words are cup and tea. Those are the peaks. The function words are a and of. Those are the valleys.
A cup of tea.
Now let us apply the schwa. The a becomes a tiny The OF becomes an of. Listen to the rhythm. A cup of tea.
C-U-P, T-E-A. The peaks are clear, the valleys are lazy.
Let us do a longer one. What are you going to do today?
If we break that down, what, going, and today are the important words. Are, you, and to are function words.
So let us schwa the function words. Are you becomes urya. To becomes t.
What are you going to do today?
It flows like water. There is no friction. Because you removed all the complicated vowel shapes from the unimportant words, your mouth can just glide right over them.
This is why native speakers seem to speak so fast. They are not actually moving their mouths faster than you are. They're just moving their mouths less. They are skipping the unnecessary movements by using the schwa.
That is profound, Ben. They are moving their mouths less. When a learner tries to speak fast, they try to do all the complicated mouth movements at double speed, and they end up tripping over their own tongue.
But true speed comes from efficiency. The schwa is the ultimate efficiency tool.
I want to address something that might be worrying some of our listeners right now. They might be thinking, Anna and Ben, this is great, but how am I supposed to memorize which words get a schwa and which words do not? There are thousands of words in the dictionary.
That is a very fair question, and the answer ties directly back to Module 1. You do not memorize them logically. You do not pull out a dictionary and highlight all the unstressed syllables.
You build the rhythm into your mental bridges. When you learn a new phrasal block, you learn it with the rhythm already attached. You learn the music at the same time you learn the lyrics.
When you learn the phrase, as far as I know, you do not learn 5 separate words. You learn one continuous piece of music. As far as I know, The schwas are naturally built into the melody of the block.
And the best way to absorb that melody is through the mimicking and shadowing exercises we have been talking about. When you shadow a native speaker, do not just copy their words, copy their laziness. Notice where they drop their pitch and mumble, and you do exactly the same thing.
Over time, your brain and your mouth will naturally start assigning the schwa to the unstressed syllables without you ever having to think about it. It becomes instinctual.
It is like learning to ride a bicycle. At first, you have to think about balance and pedaling and steering all at once. It feels impossible. But eventually, your body just figures out the physics, and you pedal without thinking.
The schwa is the balance of the English language. Once your mouth figures out how to rest in those valleys, you will be riding the rhythm effortlessly.
Let us review the key takeaways from today's masterclass on the schwa.
The schwa is the most common vowel sound in English. It sounds like a lazy
Number 2. The schwa only appears in unstressed syllables and in function words. It is the sound of the valleys.
Number 3. You cannot trust English spelling. Any vowel letter can become a schwa if it loses its stress.
And number 4, you must learn to be physically lazy on the unimportant words in order to be fluent and fast. Mumbling the function words is not bad English, it is correct English.
We are completely destroying the old classroom rules in this module, and it is so incredibly liberating.
It really is. It takes so much pressure off the learner when they realize they only have to be clear on half of the words they say.
Which brings us to the mission for episode 2. We want you to start actively hunting for the schwa in the real world.
Your homework for this week is to become a schwa detective. We want you to listen to a native English speaker for just 5 minutes. It could be a YouTube video, a podcast, or even a news broadcast.
While you are listening, I want you to pay attention to the small words, the to, the for, the can, the and. I want you to actively listen to how the speaker destroys the vowels in those words and replaces them with a lazy
Once you hear it, it is like a magic trick being revealed. You will never be able to unhear it. The schwa is everywhere.
After you do your listening exercise, we want you to come down into the comments section of this episode. Tell us one word or phrase where you clearly heard a native speaker use a schwa instead of a full vowel.
Write the phrase down and maybe spell it phonetically the way you actually heard it. For example, write down a cup of tea and then write a cup of tea next to it.
We want to fill the comments section with proof that the spelling illusion is real and that the schwa is the true king of English pronunciation.
We will be down there reading your examples and celebrating your new rhythmic awareness. This is such a huge breakthrough moment for so many students.
It absolutely is. You are now officially initiated into the schwa secret. You possess the key to English rhythm.
In our next episode, Episode 3, we are going to take this rhythm even further. We are going to talk about connected speech, also known as liaison.
We are going to show you how native speakers take these words with all their peaks and valleys and actually glue them together so that 3 words sound like one single long word.
It builds perfectly on the lazy schwa concepts we learned today. It is going to be a fantastic discussion about flow and fluidity.
You definitely won't want to miss it. But for today, just focus on relaxing your jaw. Find your home base. Embrace the laziness.
We are so proud of the work you are doing.
The physical shift requires patience, but you are rewiring your mouth for permanent success.
I am Ben.
And I am Anna. If you enjoyed learning the secret of the schwa today, please remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We love building this fluency blueprint with all of you. Until next time, keep practicing, keep listening, and remember, learning English with us is
A piece of cake. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next time on the English Chatcast.